bespoke radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Yeah. Fade to Black. Bespoke radio for the masses. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? All right, let's go. Today's Tuesday, December 27th. 362 days into the new year. Just 4 days left. I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the planet. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking? Oh, man. Excited. And with that, another very special broadcast tonight, heading into New Year's weekend. Tonight, we welcome back Jason Quitt. We have a lot of first-time guests on this show. That's what we do. We're uncovering things. And this year, out of everybody, the reaction of Jason brought him back on New Year's week. So we welcome back Jason Quitt tonight. Open lines later on tonight, so get ready for that as well. Tomorrow night, Lori McDonald and the Mandela Effect. Thursday is another Fader night with John Rappaport and his No More Fake Newsroom. Open lines all night long. Follow. And then it's Friday, and we have to get ready for the weekend. What are you guys doing? What do you guys got planned for New Year's Eve? We're going to do a little shindig over at the house, so, the pictures will be posted, and you'll see what's going on there. But what are you doing? I'm letting you know what we're doing. I'm telling you right now. We're going to throw down. Rita is going to cook for, let's see, today's Tuesday. So that's, 3 days. She's going to cook. I was telling her today, and she gave me the stare, right? And I'm going to let everybody know. We're going through the menu today, right? We're going through, and I'm like, okay, all right. For once it's reasonable. It's not 80,000 things. And then she goes, and then let's do this. I was like, okay. All right. The only thing I suggested for the menu, which made the first round, was I wanted a cheese plate. Cheese. I wanted a cheese plate. So she writes that down, And after a half an hour, right, and we went from like 10 things on the menu, now we're up to about 45, right? And 40 of those are appetizers, by the way. And then she turns to me and she goes, well, we can scratch the cheese plate. And she didn't even ask. She just crossed it off the list. My cheese plate. Cheese. So that's what we're doing. And it was really funny, too, because I'm like, okay, all right, I get it. I see the vision. I see the vision where this is going. All right, I'm cool with it. And I think I let it out that, I let the rope out just a little bit, and that was it, man. She goes, well, then what about? I was like, oh, man, there's nothing I can do. I just got to just say yes. I got to say it's cool, baby, because it's a lot of work. And if she wants to do it, if that's her thing, then I just have to say yes. And I got to go shopping and make sure that everything is ship shape over the house. No, sorry, K28, we're not doing tiramisu. No, you did it, and you did well. We're not going to do tiramisu. But there you go. Okay. So that's what we're doing. What are you guys doing out there? What do you have planned? It's a big night for everybody around the world. Here it is, and we can finally say goodbye to 2016, right? Do you think, I'm gonna light this up right now on Twitter. Do you think that it is at all possible, to get more out of whack in 2017 than what we did as a human race in 2016? Is it possible? Do you think, if you look forward to 2017 and you push that over the edge, right? And you're going to top 2016 on all fronts, it doesn't matter. How crazy would 2017 have to be, right? And I don't think we need to do that. I think we need to bring things down a notch. Let's go through a nice, smooth, fun 2017. All right, so there you go. All right, I just posted right before. I'm in a great mood, everybody, and right before the show, Rita is putting together. She's down the hall in her studio, and she's putting together the songs for Saturday night. And she goes, and I go, what about the Mavericks? The Mavericks. And she goes, yeah. So about a half hour ago, we were down in her studio dancing to the Mavericks. And I came in to the bunker, and I pulled up the Mavericks. And 5 minutes before showtime, everybody, that video that I posted was cranked. And if that's a remake of Cat Stevens. If that doesn't put you in the mood, you are a corpse. That's all I got to say. You are cold blood. You're reptilian. The Mavericks, man, just put me right there. Right there. Okay. All right. Where was I? Let's get the show cracking. Let's get this thing underway. Tonight, Jason Quitt is here. Tomorrow night, Lori McDonald and the Mandela Effect. Thursday night, it's Fader Night with John Rappaport and his No More Fake Newsroom. All right. Now, I'm just going to say happy holidays, happy New Year. Tomorrow and then Thursday will be our last shows of the year. We're winding this thing down, and we're going out in style. Okay? The sandbox is hashtag F2B on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Very simple. Happy holidays from all of our sponsors. Right now, click on and visit all of our sponsors. The banners are all over the website. Click on all of them. Help yourself. Support the show. Go and visit our sponsors. Life Change Tea, getthetea.com. Promo code Jimmy when you order. Very simple. River Moon Coffee, makers of the Fade to Black blend. Promo code F2B blend, 15% off of your order. Click on the banner. Studio Dome, their Fade or Not special. Click on the banner. Promo code JCRTWS when you order. Zyppah, ZYPPAH.com. Stop snoring today. Get whoever you are sleeping next to, the one that keeps you awake at night, get them a Zyppah. ZYPPAH.com. Thank me later. Go get it now. ZYPPAH.com. All right. First big conference of the season is the Conscious Life Expo, February 10th through the 13th. Banner over at jimmychurchradio.com. Tickets and info are there. We're broadcasting Friday night. Fade to Black. We'll have 12, 14, 16 guests live on the show. come and hang out. It's at the Plaza Ballroom, the biggest room there at the LAX Hilton, holds about 1,000 people. Come on down and enjoy the show. It's going to be great. Then Saturday morning, I'm going to host the Ancient Aliens panel, and we've got events going on all day and all night, all weekend. Come and hang out with us. It's going to be great. And then Contact in the Desert is coming up, too, in May. And we will have all of that information over the next week or so. Okay? Let's get the show cracking. Today, Carrie Fisher left this earth for a galaxy far, far away. Yeah, she did. And I know that sounds a bit tacky, but I'm just going to let you know, she would have loved hearing it. She was cool. She was cool. She was like the cool side of a pillow. She was awesome, inside and out. And she left us with some of the best cinema moments ever. Watching everybody's reactions on social media today, I think that when she first fell ill on the flight, and the reactions to it were pretty timid, because I think everybody kind of freaked out. And it was just like, no, we don't need this, right? Christmas and thing. And I get that. But I think we all just got slapped. Watching the reactions today, yeah, I mean, that's it. That's it. She was Princess Leia. And she's no longer with us, but she was very cool. But it wasn't just Star Wars. And I have a list of movies that I share with Rita. And we have our movies that we love, right? And let me tell you something. And it's no coincidence that Carrie was in all of them. And so, sure, there were Star Wars, but let's not forget the Blues Brothers. How about The Man with One Red Shoe? Amazon Women on the Moon. The Burbs. Soap Dish. And how about Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back? Carrie was great. She was hilarious. She was awesome. And we all feel a little strange right now. And I get that. But she left us with greatness. So with that, let's all chill out. Because that's the way she would have wanted it. Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. All right? And let's just have a good show tonight. Let's do this like we should, right? Maybe I should play some Mavericks. On this day in history in 1968, Apollo 8, the first manned mission to the moon, returns safely to Earth, allegedly after its 6-day journey. Fader fact. From just listen to this, please. And it's vetted, okay? Fader fact. From Dr. No to Quantum of Solace, James Bond has killed 352 people and slept with 52 women. That is a Fader fact. All right. My daughter, one of two, Deanna, comes in the living room the other day, and I think it was on Christmas. And she comes in with Rita, and Rita goes, "Hey, I want to check out. This Amazon Echo. Do you know anything about it?" And Deanna goes, I want one. Plays music. And I said, no. And it was on Christmas, and I'm feeling a little strange, but they didn't understand. They were like, but Dad, no. Dad says no. And I felt bad, right? Deanna wants one, and I get that. She wants it to play music. She's got a room full of studio domes, right? Literally. And she doesn't need it. But anyway, it's a gadget, and I get that. But there will be no Amazon Echoes or Google Homes or anything like that in our house. That's where I'm putting the foot down. Not going to do it. Well, today, authorities in Bentonville, Arkansas. Listen to me, everybody. Listen to this. In Bentonville, Arkansas, issued a warrant for an Amazon Echo device powered by Alexa to see if the gadget had information linked to a 2015 murder case. Now, the device belongs to a one James Andrew Bates. Now, Bates is on trial for killing his friend, Victor Collins. Okay. All right. Are you following me so far? Police want to know if the Echo heard anything that has to do with the murder of Collins, who was found dead in Bates' hot tub. That's right. Victor and James in a hot tub. Now, Bentonville issued a warrant for Amazon to release any audio, listen to me, or records from an Echo belonging to Bates. The company reportedly declined to give authorities data that the Echo device logged in on its servers. However, Amazon handed over Bates' account details and purchases. Officials said they were able to get information off of the device, but did not specify what data it was able to access. In a statement, Amazon said, I'm quoting here, Amazon will not release customer information without a valid and binding legal demand properly served on us. Amazon objects to overboard or otherwise inappropriate demands as a matter of course. End quote. Now, this is a murder case. All right? Although the device is activated by you, what you say, certain words, the Echo is always on. Listen to me. And police are after any audio that the gadget may have overheard the night of the murder. Apart from the Echo, police say Bates had other smart home gadgets, plural, including a water meter. The meter, the smart meter, connected to the net, shows 140 gallons of water were used between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. the night Collins was found dead in the hot tub. Amazon's clash with Arkansas officials comes after Apple's battle with the FBI earlier this year. Well publicized on this very program. Apple fought for user privacy against the FBI when the agency asked the company to unlock the phone of one of the San Bernardino shooters. We know the story well. And then the FBI went to Israel, got a company, boom, hacked the phone, cost him $1 million or whatever, and hacked it. Now, back to the Bates case. You need to be very careful. Now, I have no issues with what authorities need to do with this said Echo. But now they have access to everything else that was smart in this home. Anybody can go back and listen and possibly watch your private life later. Do you really want to have your every move, every single thing that you've ever said, private conversations, recorded? Now, I don't know what the reason would be. In this case, it's a murder, and I get that. But later on, some crazy association that you have with somebody, and then they come at you and go, okay, we want all of your records of everything that is connected to the internet. Here's the warrant. And you need to stop and ask yourself, well, what was I saying that day? What was I doing that day? You know, that day that you were maybe running around in your boxer shorts and farting on yourself. Whatever. You know, think about this for a second. Now, this is where it gets even nuttier. Amazon Echo, Google Home, smart TVs, refrigerators, water meters, webcams, the webcam that's on your smart TV, the webcam that is on your tablet, the webcam that is on your cell phone, the webcam that is on your laptop. All of those have microphones that are wide open. All of them. And the Echo and the Home are designed to do just that all the time. Microphones everywhere. It's crazy. And it reminds me of that guy that used to own the Clippers, whatever his name was, you know, and he got all busted with the comments that he was making privately. He's an idiot, whatever. But, you know, you have a certain amount of a reasonable right to privacy. You have that right. And when you choose to go with an Amazon Echo, a Google Home, or a smart TV, you're giving up that right. You're giving up that right. It's gone. Think about that. All right, because now I want to move on to some good news. Astronomy experts with the Green Bay Telescope in West Virginia and the Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico have discovered 6 new fast radio bursts, FRBs, emitting from a constellation far beyond our Milky Way galaxy. This is according to a recent report in the Astrophysical Journal, peer-reviewed. The discovery, made in the Auriga constellation, is significant, considering the fact that at least 17 FRBs have now been detected in this region. It is also the only known instance in which these signals have been found twice in the same location in space. Now, the Auriga constellation, dubbed the FRB 121102 by scientists, is located about 3 billion light years away from Earth. 5 of the recently found FRBs were detected with the Green Bay Telescope, while the other was recorded by the Arecibo Observatory, for a total of 17 bursts from this source. The signals were also found earlier this year and back in 2012. Now, according to experts, the FRBs could be the result of 2 things. 1, solar flares from a neutron star, or extraterrestrials. It's their words, not mine. Now, are we jumping the shark here? Or are we getting a little too ahead of ourselves? Is it still too early to tell? They are tripping out. I'm quoting here. Whether the FRB from 121102 is a unique object in the currently known sample of FRBs, or all FRBs are capable of repeating, well, then it's a characterization that is extremely important to understanding fast extragalactic radio transients. Think about what they have just said. When you go and read the report, as I did today, they explicitly say, because of the repeats and how this is done, this can only be from an alien intelligence source. I'm thinking something strange is about to break. I feel something is about to happen here. This is Fade to Black. We got 2 days left of broadcast, 3 including tonight. It is the end of the year. I do want to wish from everybody here, Fade to Black, Rita, our family, everybody that does this show, to you. Want to wish everybody a happy new year. Be safe. Have fun. We're going to do it right. We want you to do it right, too. Tonight, our guest is Jason Quitt. And Jason stirred things up the last time he was on the show. So much so, we have to have him back. And tonight is the night. Tomorrow night, Lori McDonald and the Mandela Effect. Thursday night is another Fader night with John Rappaport and his No More Fake Newsroom. It'll be his last NMFNR for the year. We're going to take calls tonight, so get ready. 323-825-5045. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Email is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. Jason Quitt right here after this short break. Stay with us.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Yes, Rivermoon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from Rivermoon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi, folks. It's a holiday season with hope in the air. Things to look forward to and no time for despair. Health can be a challenge, and so can the mail. So Get the Tea wants to help you by giving you a sale. Buy 2 months of Super Tea and get 1 month for free. No limit. That's buy 2 months of Super Tea and get 1 month free. That's a savings of $35. Where? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Scroll down on the front page and find the buy 2, get 1 free ad. Click it and save. Orders over $100 get free shipping. Send the gift of life. Change tea at GetTheTea.com. We have many non-GMO organic supplements just waiting for you. This holiday season, enjoy health and Thanksgiving with GetTheTea.com. Want to call us? 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. GetTheTea.com is a proud sponsor of doing what's right. That's GetTheTea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the planet.
Hi, this is Chase Klutsky with Fate Magazine Radio, and you're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station where the Fadernauts rock.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey. You're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. Tonight, we welcome back Jason Quitt. Tomorrow night, Lori McDonald's going to be here. We're going to do the Mandela Effect. Thursday night, it's another Fader night with John Rappaport. We're going to wrap up 2016, followed by open lines all night long. We're going to open up the phone lines tonight, too, as well, 323-825-5045. As a multi-dimensional time traveler, Jason Quitt has experienced the past, the present, and the future. From ancient Egypt and Atlantis to our possible pre- and post-apocalyptic future, he has been a witness to our unrecorded history. In his book, Forbidden Knowledge, co-authored with Bob Mitchell, more on that in just a minute, he discusses where we are and how mainstream archaeologists, scientists, and historians have been swept up in a fabricated storyline. Our world isn't what we think it is. It's a world once fought and protected by otherworldly and dimensional beings. An ascension process is taking place on our planet today, and that is awakening our consciousness to peer beyond the veils of our own known reality. We are once again remembering our place in the universe as multidimensional beings who are having a physical experience right here on planet Earth. Jason is our top first-time guest. Got to get him back on the show request. So here we are back with Quitt to wrap up 2016. Jason, welcome back to the show, man. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me. And yeah, 2016 was quite a year.
And yeah, amazing is actually the right word, man. Just absolutely amazing on all fronts. But before we get started, Jason, welcome back. And you wanted to, and I totally, and Rita and I were so with you on this, you wanted to dedicate the show to Bob Mitchell. And Bob he's no longer with us, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But Bob was an amazing guest on this show and became a friend of ours. And he left this earth, a month, 2 months ago. And that is that. And when you said that today, absolutely, let's dedicate this show to Bob Mitchell. And I'm going to hand this over to you with this question first. How did you meet Bob?
Well, he actually found me. And I was invited to an alien cosmic expo in his hometown of Brantford, Ontario. And people just kept telling him that he needed to come and see me. So he sat in one of my lectures. And at the end of my lecture, he came up to me and he told me that he was very impressed. And what I had to say, he's never heard that before. So, he knew that there was a story with me, and he didn't even know what that story was. But he asked me, he said, would you like to work on a book with me? And at the time, I was actually really thinking about I needed to write a book. And it was almost like this perfect universal synchronicity that just connected us. And I said, absolutely, Bob, let's start working right away. And we started to work on Forbidden Knowledge in January of 2015. And we released it in March. So it didn't take us very long to write that book together. And we worked very, very well together. And the reason we put out the book so quickly is that, Corey Good and David Wilcock, they were putting out their cosmic disclosure stuff. And, a lot of the stuff that's in that book is actually complementary to what they've been putting out.
Right.
And it really started to freak me out because a lot of these things I didn't tell anybody. And Corey started to talk about it. So I told Bob, I said, we got to get this out very, very fast because I didn't want anybody to think I was just taking it from other sources.
Right. So, well, that would make sense. That would make sense. let me ask you maybe a couple of difficult questions. Was he had cancer, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
Did he know at that time that he was sick? And I'm talking about when you guys were working on the book.
No.
Right.
No, he was completely fine. He didn't have a care in the world, really. I would say close to the end, I would say in the end of July, he started to tell me that he was having a pain in his side.
Right.
And it wasn't going away. And he went to the doctors, and they did every test on him. Everything came back fine.
And what month was that? He passed in September. What month?
September 21st or 23rd, I believe.
Right. And what month was he feeling this pain when he went to
July?
Yeah.
It was the end of July, and he started to feel a pain. He went to the doctors. He did all these tests. Nothing came back, anything, and the doctor just said, you have diabetes.
Right.
So he gave Bob diabetes medication. Bob started to take it, but that pain didn't go away. So he went to go see another doctor, and that's when he got the news that he had pancreatic cancer.
Yep.
And it was very shocking. It was just very shocking because he thought that he, saw doctors all the time, and he got tests all the time. So this was a big shock to him. So obviously he wanted a second opinion. So he went to another doctor. They did more tests, and they said, well, Bob, you not only have pancreatic cancer, but you have liver cancer as well. And that freaked him out more. And then he went to another doctor, and they said, okay, it's in your stomach. And then it was almost like he found out, and 4 to 5 weeks later, he's gone. That's how fast it went.
Yeah, he wrote me an email, and we had talked on the phone, but he had wrote me an email explaining what was going on, and I was just like, holy crap, and that email was personal, but he was definitely feeling his own mortality at that point. It was just a tough email to read, but he was recognizing what was going on, and it was very harsh to read because, I talked to him so many times over the last year, and everything was good, everything was cool, everything was great. We were talking about lots of different things, and it came up so quick and so sudden, and then that was it. It was tragic for the world of ufology and our friends and Victor and everybody that was around him. It was just a big surprise, and it was just so fast.
Yeah, and Bob and I, we decided to start a company together, and because my background is a graphic designer, so I could put a book together very quickly, and he's a very good writer, so the combination of us, we can put books together very quickly.
Right.
So we decided that because of the huge success with Forbidden Knowledge, which is now being translated into Chinese, Japanese, and German, and probably French very soon, he wanted to keep that momentum going. So we decided to get a list together of different people that needed their stories to be written, basically experiencers or whistleblowers or insiders.
Right.
And we would help them tell their stories and release that in book form.
I will say this: when he was on the show and he whipped out the Bramford story, right? Yeah. I very rare. Well, I mean, if it's cool, my mind gets blown. But that story, I had never heard of, right? And the documentation and how it happened and when and where. And it was one of the most colorful, extraordinary UFO events on this program on Fade to Black, and I'll never forget Bob for that, man. And he knew I did not know anything about this story, so he had me hook, line, and sinker, right? He knew it, man, and he had me at the word go. And I will never forget that. I will never forget that.
Well, he did a lot for the community, and, he did a lot for me. I mean, he really brought me into this stage where I am right now, and he introduced me to all these amazing people like yourself. And, when he passed, basically, I'm continuing what he started.
Right.
So, when he passed, I was even answering his emails for him just because he didn't really have anybody to continue this. So I'm still working with his books, and I'm still, helping his family, and I'm going to continue to do so.
Yeah, right on, man. Right on. Yeah, Bob Mitchell. All right. Now that I'm all, choked up, let's, and he's listening right now. He's going, dudes, don't get stupid. Just go have a good show. Okay, so with respect to Bob, let's not get stupid. But that Brantford case, man, I'm serious. That thing really blew my mind. So what did you, speaking about Bob, as you started to do Forbidden Knowledge, he's such a tremendous writer. I've gone back and read so much of his stuff. He's just really, 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 really good, right? What did you learn? What did you learn from Bob that helped you, through your interdimensional stuff and the issues that you have in your own life? What did you learn from him?
Well, I really didn't want to tell my story. And there's a lot of stuff in that book I told him I did not want in the book. And he just kept pushing. He says, no, it'll be good. It's good to get this off your chest. And, other people will enjoy these stories. It needs to be said. So he really kind of took me out of my comfort zone. And, I tell a lot of people this, but I was forgetting these stories. I mean, because I'm a lifelong experiencer, it's, there's not just one or two stories, it's hundreds and hundreds of stories. So I started to forget them. So I really had to go back and try to figure out the timelines and, how everything kind of fit into place. And he was right there with me. He was, helping me tell these stories. And he even was showing me how to write them down properly. So I was getting a lesson on how to write from a 40-year veteran journalist. So I actually got pretty good. So he would send me drafts of what he's working on, and, I'd go through what he's doing, and, I'd fix up some things, and we kind of go back and forth. So he kind of, taught me to step out of the comfort zone, and he taught me to, I would say, write some books.
Yeah, he must have, because of the way that he looked at the world and looked at the fringe. For you knew that you could just, you didn't want to tell your story, but your story needed to be told, and then it allowed you to open up because he's not going to shut you down. He's just going to sit and listen, and that's probably the most important thing.
He did a tremendous thing, and he's a journalist, so he does a lot of research, but when he started to write about UFOs and he got together with MUFON, he took a very different approach. He would sit down and just say, tell me your story. I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to take your testimony as it is. So, and I remember, because he's written a lot about experiencers in the past with his book Intrusions and Close Encounters. And, he's told me that even though he doesn't believe a couple of these stories, he thinks it's very important to have in the book because it shows a different side or a different perspective to someone's experience.
Right. Yeah.
So he just allowed the work to flow.
Yeah, exactly. And looking back at 2016, obviously we have the passing of Bob Mitchell, but as far as consciousness goes and the world itself, this veil of darkness, was over everybody. How does 2016, affect you in the way that you think? Was it as dark for you as it was for what I think everybody else and myself?
I had some lessons I had to learn this year, and I had to face a lot of demons too. So I feel like there's a lot of amazing light, a lot of amazing information coming out right now. And because of that, there is a lot of darkness coming through, just because everything has to be in this harmonious balance, I guess. But this year, even though it was absolutely amazing for me, it was a very, very difficult year to get through.
When you say things were coming to light in 2016, what are you referring to?
Well, I would say physically, there's a lot of stuff being leaked, from WikiLeaks to show us that the world we live in is not what we think it is, and we're just kind of getting played, and the players are even more evil than we could ever imagine. So that's at a physical level. But on a spiritual level, I really started to get grounded in seeing how the dimensions operate and how it manipulates or works with us in the third dimensional state. So, for example, I'm really into this whole mind control stuff,
right?
Because I could actually see it with my physical eyes. It's not just a concept anymore. I can see how it's being operated dimensionally. And because I can see it, I could take steps to know what's real and what's not.
How so? How do you see it, Jason?
Okay, so this all started a while ago, but let's say I'm sitting in a room with somebody and they're talking to me. I could actually see these. They look like strands of light, and they shoot into the person's head. So I could see these strands of light coming from different directions, going into the person's head. And when that seed or this little thing of light goes into their head, then they start asking a question or saying something. And I know that came from somewhere else. But I've seen the opposite too. I've seen dark orbs go into people. And right when these things go into people, they start talking about, things that have happened in their past, or what makes them upset and angry, or, it makes them upset. So I can actually see things entering the physical body, and it triggers them to think or say something.
And you can see them change.
Yes.
So what you're saying is the conversation, the mood is in one direction, and then you see this interaction happen, and then you can tell at that moment that things are about to change, not only what they're thinking, but what they're about to say.
Yes.
What do you think is sending the strands of light or these orbs? Where are they coming from?
I would say that we are multidimensional, and we have different states of consciousness that are outside of our bodies. And a lot of these things, I would say, would be inspiration, or just a communication from higher self to the physical self. So like someone that's asking me spiritual questions or asking me things about themselves, I can see these strands of light going into them. Whereas when someone goes into a feeling or an emotion of a wound or a trauma, I can see these dark little orbs going into them. It's really like what they're resonating with at a deep subconscious level.
Yeah, right. Do they know? Do they know that this is happening? Have you asked them?
Oh, no. I would say there's very little people that are aware of this.
Wow. Is there a possibility that, because when you say mind control, and that's very, very interesting, I mean, it's an influence from outside the body that's causing you to speak or think things that you wouldn't normally do. Do you think there's the possibility that it could be the government or something mechanical doing this interference too as well.
Yes, there is, but that's at a different level.
How so? Well, this is what I speak about all the time. We are where you are sitting right now, Jason Quitt, where you are sitting, there are Wi-Fi signals, cell phone, things that are satellite television, whatever. There are things dashing around your head right now. Things are being beamed all over the place. And the thought of that being directed in a dark sense to influence us, I think that possibility is very real.
It is. And one of the first things that I was shown, and we're going back about 15 years now, I was taken out of my body and I was directed to, I had this clock radio by my bed. And it's almost like my consciousness got stretched through the EM frequency range.
Right.
So I could feel like myself hearing the different channels. And we stopped at this one channel. It was like they were trying to show me this one channel.
Sure.
And I was listening to this radio show between two radio hosts. And, it's funny for me to say this, but they were just making I would say if a 5-year-old learned how to swear and just the worst, lowest jokes you could possibly think of, even like fart jokes and all this stuff, that's what they were talking about in this radio show.
Really?
Huh. It was just the most complete nonsense I've ever heard.
Right.
And I'm listening to this, and when I get put back in my body, the first thought that comes into my mind is, no wonder everybody no wonder everybody's idiots.
Right. Right.
Because this is what they're getting fed subconsciously. It's the lowest consciousness.
Right. Yeah, that reminds me of what's it, South Park, Terrence and Phillip, or
I love South Park, by the way.
Yeah. And not to get off on that, but yeah, I totally get that. If you're going to dumb us down, do it directly.
Yes, and there are frequencies that they know of that I'll call them neural destructive frequencies or disruptive frequencies. And, they know these frequencies. These are military-used frequency bandwidths that basically could turn on and off chemical receptors in our brains. And it's coming through our walls always, through the electrical system. So even if we don't know this, our bodies and our minds are being entrained to EM frequencies just by living in this unnatural environment.
Right. And what mindset are you in? Do you have to prep yourself for this? What's your situation when you see this occurring with somebody? Or are you just being you?
I'm just being me, and it's difficult to explain to somebody because these people have real emotions and they have real thoughts. They're just getting triggered, right?
Right.
So we have to kind of say, let's talk about this in a natural shamanic way that we're all carrying these emotions, we're carrying these wounds, we're carrying these thoughts, and they're not healthy for us. And if we continue to carry them, they're going to make us sick. And there's things outside of us that are basically coming into us and pushing our buttons. You ever go and meet a friend and, you just could look at them the wrong way or say the wrong thing and their day is just ruined.
Right.
Because you've pushed their buttons.
Are you, are you doing something? I mean, is your pineal gland opened up? Is there something that you have done? Maybe not necessarily in a shamanic way, but what is it that is activated in you that allows you to see this in real time?
I think it was part of my training with outer body experiences where I started to actually see the influences. So someone says, there's a devil talking in your ear or something, or there's an angel on your shoulder, when I leave my body, I physically can see it. And I know physically is the wrong word for this, but it's right there in front of me. It's absolutely real. And I have many, many examples of this. And, I know Carrie Fisher from Star Wars died today. And something happened to me in Japan. I was in Japan for about a month, and I actually came in contact with a gray alien, which is, it's the first time it's ever happened in my life where I could actually see this thing. And this was not a physical thing. This was in the fourth dimension, or between the waking and the dreaming. And so now I leave my body and I see this alien standing in the corner of my room. It's clear as day. I know exactly what it is. It sees me. And I get this thing in my head, like a telepathic message. It's in my own voice, by the way. Most telepathic messages are in your own voice. And it says, I am an old, short man. That's what this gray alien said to me. I am an old, short man. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, no, you're not. You're a gray alien.
Right.
And the reason I'm saying this is because this is really messed up. This is really, really messed up, because this gray alien tried to Jedi mind mess with me.
Well, you know what? Right. Let's take a break right here, because I want this experience in its entirety right after the break. So let's do it that way, and I'm sure Bob would approve. Bob Mitchell. All right. Our guest tonight, Jason Quitt. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. You can follow Jason at Jason_Quitt with 2 T's. More with Jason right after this short break. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
Hello, I'm Katie, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
How you doing? It's Jimmy here from Zipa. Today I wanted to tell you about my efforts to achieve global elimination of snoring. It all starts with respect. Respect for yourself and respect for others. Listen, you think you're being a nice guy or a nice girl by letting the guy or girl next to you sleep and snore every night. It's the ultimate disrespect to have that happen. You wake that person up and you tell them, go to Zipa.com now. ZYPPAH.com. We're not going to tolerate this, all right? Snoring is not okay. Someone next to you is snoring, you tell them to buy a Zipa. ZYPPAH.com. I know that you're listening to these snoring things and you're thinking, well, it don't apply to me. I don't have these problems. A lot of people are in denial, but it's true. Listen, if you're snoring, you got to stop it. What you got to do is get this fixed. Get a Zipa and change your life. ZYPPAH.com.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. Yes. We are of the Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And I'm Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers. And you're listening to Jimmy Church. The Revolution.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring 2 Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The 2 full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129, and use the promo code JCRTWS, and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Teppy.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, Jason Quitt. Tomorrow night, Lori McDonald. Thursday night, our last show of the year, Fader Night. Yeah, man. With John Rappaport. All right, now, Jason, right before the break, you were telling us about what was going on in Japan when you had a little gray guy show up that said he was old.
Yeah, he said, I am an old, short man. Those were the exact words. I am an old, short man. And it's really funny because I've been doing this for so long, and I've been, I would say, awake or conscious in my dimensional self or my dimensional body. So, you know, I've had so many things trying to come to me and mess with me that it just doesn't work anymore.
Right.
Like I just catch them right away. So whatever this thing was doing there, I think it was just there to observe, you know, this new person in Japan, I guess. But when I said to it, no, you are not. You are a gray alien. It just left. It just left. Like, okay, I know what it is. It's not working. It's leaving.
Wow, interesting. How was he clothed?
No. It was just completely, I would say, in his birthday suit, I guess.
Did he have any body parts, if you know what I mean?
I did not see genitals, if that's what you're talking about.
Well,
but I did see the arms and the legs.
Right.
But the strangest thing is, it just bothered me so much what it said. You know, I am an old, short man.
Right.
So what do? I go on Google, and I'm looking at all these things, and there's an actual syndrome in sleep paralysis or sleep hallucinations where people say that they're haunted by a short, old man watching them at the corner of the room.
Right. Happened to me.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Happened to me. Told the story 8 million times. I'm not going to do it again tonight on the air. But, yeah, absolutely. Happened to me. Yeah.
Because I knew right away when it said that line to me, it was a subliminal key for me to create that space in my mind.
Interesting.
I knew that right away.
Right. Interesting that you had a conversation. I didn't have a conversation. But it wouldn't have been a good one if we had one. Trust me. I was pretty angry. But interesting that you had that, and it sounds like a deflection, right? That once you you said what he was, then that interaction was over. The jig was up, right?
And that's the thing that I found is they do not like being caught.
Right.
And it's not just them, it's all these other beings. Because basically, we're walking in this world completely unconscious. So these things can come, they could be our dreams.
Right.
They could literally place dreams inside of us, and we could start reacting to those dreams having emotions, having thoughts that go along with what they're placing.
Right.
And that energy then feeds them.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I always look for, when I hear somebody tell me about their experiences, I'm always looking for that little thing that because I have not shared everything with everybody. I just won't do that because I want to hear other people's experiences, and then I can tell, or, cross-reference with my own to find out if my experience was real, and so was theirs, right? It's kind of like a two-way street. But that's interesting that you had a conversation. And do you feel like if you reached out and touched him, that it would be as real as you sitting here right now with me?
Oh, no, absolutely. Like, see, we think the dream world is the dream world, but there's many dimensions that are, I would say, spaces in between. I'll call them dimensions that are they're always here.
Right.
They're always here. And when you step into those dimensions using your dimensional bodies, it's basically as real as you sitting right here.
Well,
There's no difference.
What's funny is I think that with the prevalence of a lot of TV shows that are coming out now that are really, really cool, that there are professionals out there that have had these experiences, and they are using that to create television, scripted dramas. And then, therefore, those people out there that have the same experiences, they see it and they go, wait, whoa. They can directly connect to it and see what's going on. It's not just you and I that are having these experiences, is what I'm saying. It goes across the board, and it doesn't matter who you are or what you do, that you can have these experiences. And I think that we're starting to share this so much now in popular culture that it's starting to become accepted.
Yes, and this is the thing that I always spoke to Bob about, that what I'm experiencing, I don't believe that it's just happening to me. I believe that I am having a normal human experience. It's just part of the human experience, but it's part of the human experience that has been demonized and taken away from us and not taught to us for some specific reason.
Well, yeah. Why do you think that is?
Because I would think if we learned that there's infinite space, infinite time, and we have access to it, it's very freeing. You can't control something that's infinite and eternal and can stretch through time and space.
Well, do you, this awakening, look, what went on in the 60s and the late 60s and the early 70s, and pyramid power and all of this new life, new living way of things is nothing compared to what is going on today. Right now, we are in a whole nother shift that is going on. Do you think that the government knows about this very subject, and they are seeing this play out? It's a steamroller effect right now, and they're not going to be able to slow this down. And once this gets out into the mainstream, all bets are off.
I think they're more aware. They're much more aware than what we think they know. And because of that, they're 10 steps ahead. And they foresaw this for a very long time. I would say probably since the First World War, they knew about this time. And they took a lot of steps to kind of contain the situation, if you know what I mean.
Well, how so? How so?
Well, different, I would say, educational things, propaganda programming, television programming, what's being taught in the educational system, what's being taught in religions. Basically, it's almost like that part of us, that awakening part of us, is so dangerous to the establishment that it's almost like they're trying to stamp it out with different programs, like I would even say pharmaceuticals or different things that are being toxins that are putting in our air and our food. It's changing us at a very, very deep level, which is making it very difficult for us to transition because, I'll give you a definition for awakening or transitioning. Awakening is you have to deal with your stuff.
Right.
That's what awakening is.
That's right.
You're holding on to all these things, and you need a strong spiritual, mental, emotional, or energetic spiritual body to process this information, because that's what it is. It's processing. So you have things within you and around you, or even multidimensionally, that needs to be processed. And if your body and mind and emotions is plagued with, toxins, work, fear, it's basically all those systems shut down and then you stop processing. So if we say, okay, I'm going to heal now, that means healing is I'm now taking responsibility from the energy I carry, and I'm going to process it.
Right. With some of your experiences, and we talked about it on the last show, but Antarctica right now, I think, is on the front of everybody's mind, and what is going on down there, and the possibilities are really exciting. But we can't just visit, right? We just can't go down there. It's difficult to get to. But with your experiences, have you ever been to Antarctica? And if you haven't, can you go?
Okay, we spoke October 26th.
Yes.
Right? You asked me, where should they be looking for Atlantis?
Right, I did.
Remember what I said to you?
Refresh my memory and blow my mind at the same time.
I said they should be looking in Antarctica.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well,
and no, it's just very interesting because, and then you asked me, okay, what are these beings in Antarctica? Like, what do these Atlanteans look like? And I said, go look at Akhenaten with the cone heads and the weird bodies.
That's right.
Okay, I said that to you in October.
Right.
And then look what happens the end of November.
Mm-hmm.
Or early December.
Yeah, craziness.
Where they started to do that.
Right.
So I just thought that was a real crazy synchronicity because basically what I said on your show is the information that's now coming out from David Wilcock and his insiders.
Right.
And I'll just say, I'm not the first person to say that. Like, I know a lot of people that say, Antarctica is Atlantis. But it's... I just want to state on your show that I am not a researcher. I am anything but a researcher.
Right.
I would just say I'm a searcher. And I don't go out knowing these things. It's just, if they come to me, they come to me. If they don't, they don't. So I just put out the intention, tell me what I need to know. I don't want to learn it from the internet. I don't want to learn it from other sources. I want to learn it directly.
Right, of course.
And that's how I get my information.
Have you gathered any information since the October show?
Just not with Antarctica, just more with this whole dimensional mind control stuff. That's basically what I've been dealing with since Japan. But I would say Antarctica is it's a very old place. It's very, very old, and there's things there that I would say if we really knew what was there, it would definitely change the world.
It would have to.
It would have to, but I'll just say that the beings, the civilization that lived there, they were very, very advanced in helping the terraforming of the planet They were very advanced with weather manipulation and moving tectonic plates.
Right.
And they used something called the Earth Grid with pyramids and different. There are other devices they use. It's not just pyramids. There's things that actually went inside the pyramids, but those are not on the planet anymore. And I would say that through the manipulation or the misuse of the manipulation of the planet, it basically brought the demise of that civilization.
Do you have any? This is what we need from you, Jason. You need to figure out a way to reach out to your companions that have taken you, out and shown you things, and go, man, go either back in time, go into the future, and see what is going on down there. Maybe. If you went into the future, then we could see what we're going to uncover, that what we have discovered down there. Or you could go into the past and see what Antarctica was and where it was definitively and come back here and share it with us. That's what we need from you. I mean, can you pull that off?
I don't know, because these time travel things, I could put the intention out there and see what happens.
Right.
But usually it's almost like you just go to sleep and then you're pulled out of your body. And the only way I could describe it is a pull. Okay, so you're out of your body, and then suddenly there will be like a portal that opens, and the portal is about 3 feet in diameter. And it's like this magnetic pull. So you actually get pulled into this, and suddenly you're there. So it's like I could try to fight it, and if I fight it, I'd probably just wake up.
Right.
But if I don't fight it, it's just you're being taken, and then you experience it. And I think that there are higher beings. I've come in contact with many of them, but I think at a higher dimensional level, they're orchestrating a lot of this. So at a certain time when the energy is right, or the planets are at a certain alignment, they go, okay, tonight's the night we take him here, and it just happens. So it's almost like I'm just going along for the ride.
Right. You can't manipulate it. Well, I'm asking you to manipulate it. give it your best. Yeah, give it your best shot. I remember.
But I could answer more of that question though, because I have been taken back in the past, and I'll just say this to your audience. This is what I heard, which is very strange. Back then, it was a different sun, whatever that means. Okay, so back in those times, there was a different sun. The arrangement of the planet was very different. It didn't look like the map we see today. And the positions of the continents were not in the places that they were as well. And they've actually taken me back a very, very long time. And I've seen the planet, as that Pangea, that one continent, and I've seen it break up, but I've also seen it reunite as one continent and break up again.
Wow.
And I saw that happen a couple times.
Wow. Not out of the question either. That's very, very interesting. One of the things I remember us talking about, and it just popped up here in Twitter, and it reminded me last week, you're going to laugh. Last week I posted on Facebook. I was just in one of those moods, right? And I was like, bring on the flat earthers. I'll debate them and slap them around. I do it for sport, right? And I said something like that. It was cocky, but it was just so tired of hearing about this. And I just thought it would be one of those things that I just got off my chest, and it would just blow by on Facebook and it'd be gone, right? And no, it got pretty violent, and it was interesting for me to see that people that I respect and people that I know are are flat earthers, man. And I don't know how to change that. I don't know how they got there, and I don't know how to bring them back to reality. But when I know that I asked you this question, so I'm going to ask it again because it just popped up. When you were out in orbiting Earth, was the Earth round or was it flat?
It was round.
The rest of the universe, as you have seen it, rest of the planets, round?
Round.
The moon?
Round.
When you hear flat Earth theory, right? What goes through your mind?
What goes through my mind is maybe we can create our own reality. And if we believe it strong enough, we will see it that way.
So you're suggesting that the flat earthers have created their own reality, even though it's wrong?
Well,
it's okay, Jason, speak your mind, my brother. So let me ask you the question again.
Yes.
You're suggesting that the flat earthers have created their own reality, even though it's wrong?
From everything that I know and everything that I've seen, it is round.
And that is it.
And that's just it.
Okay. Oh, man. When you look back at 2016, and I know that, you're out there doing your thing, and you, just like the rest of us, saw this flat earth craziness, start to take off. Did you really think it would go this far and that it would have this kind of influence? Even though, look, we're looking at, 7 billion people in the world, right? Okay? And the amount of flat earthers out there are a few thousand, right? So really, honestly, it's a very small group and we really don't care, right? The big picture is that we don't care. It's ridiculous. But even that small group of a few thousand is pretty nutty. I don't think it's in the millions,
Well, like I stated in the first show, I actually know a lot of people that are highly intelligent and very great people that really do believe in this. And, I let them have their own reality, and it's completely fine, and I respect them for that. But, let me explain it in a different terms. Let me explain it in a dimensional terms.
Sure.
Because remember, it's like my whole thing is I see beyond this dimension. So now I'll call them clouds, okay? There's clouds of collective consciousness. So if you believe in something, your energy goes to this cloud. And this cloud becomes, I would call it a conscious being. This cloud literally is a conscious entity. And because you're feeding it your energy, which is your belief, it gets stronger and stronger. And it will want more energy because that's life. It's always looking for energy. So when you talk to somebody about flat Earth, that cloud moves through that person and into that other person if they're receptive. And now it's spreading. It's almost like there's an energetic disease. There's like an energetic disease, which is a thought or a belief. And it can spread that way because it's always looking for that energy in life.
Or
go ahead.
Or maybe they just want to debate. Maybe, just maybe. Look, I firmly believe, I swear, for every cell of my being, that every flat earther out there, smart or dumb, does not believe that the earth is really flat. They do not. They are doing this just to, and they would just want to debate, and they just, and they want to have a little group, and, they want to just, be part of a group, and this is their thing. But I'm telling you, they really, honestly do not believe the earth is flat. I swear that's what I think.
When I first heard about this, the thing that popped in my mind originally was this is just another thing that's being put out there to make real researchers or discredit real people. So it's almost like when you're reading, let's say, a channeled message, you don't know where it's coming from, and it could be like 90% amazing stuff, but that 10% of that message is going to kill you.
Yeah. You're right about that. I've got a couple of really good questions that have popped up here. You know what? I'm going to save these, Rita, for right after the break because these are really, really excellent questions. This is what is really nutty about the flat Earth theory is you will not be able to get anybody that has an education, right? A PhD, physics, have somebody of note to step up and go, okay, I'm defending these guys. I'm agreeing and take this thing to court or take this thing in front of Congress or the United Nations. It would just never happen. It just won't. Everybody that is on the side of the fence doesn't believe it. Am I making sense when I say that? Nobody would step up. Could you imagine Michio Kaku going, you know what? The Earth is flat. It just ain't going to happen, man. It ain't going to happen.
But you could do this yourself. You could figure out using the stars if it's round or not.
Well, yeah. So we're going to discount all of the ancient Greeks and Copernicus and Magellan and Galileo and on and on and on and on that that everybody is wrong and that it was just this big mass deception. You know, and what's really funny is the everybody would have to be in on it. When I say everybody, right? Pilots, boat captains, school teachers, every college, every known government, everybody in the world knows that the Earth is flat, but they want to deceive the masses. Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yes. Rita just said, how can you figure this out with stars?
Okay. What you have to do is you have to find a road that goes north and south.
Okay.
And it has to be a very, very long, straight road. Okay. And what you have to do is you have to map a star, probably the brightest star in the sky. So you map it in 24 hours, that one star, and then you drive south, for example. Let's say you got to drive over 400 miles. Let's say you drive 800 miles in that day, and then you wait again for that star to rise in the same position, and you mark it again, and you'll see that it's in a different place in the sky. It's moved up out of its position.
Right.
If you go east and west, that doesn't happen.
Right.
It only happens when you go north and south. So if you do that, and anybody can do this in a car, if you do that and you start mapping and then you measure, I think you use trigonometry with the degrees and the angles of where that star was 800 miles ago, and that gives you a slice on the planet. And then you just have to multiply it in a circle, and you'll get the circumference of the Earth. And that's how they used to do it in ancient times, and that's how you can do it right now with a calculator.
That's what I'm talking about. Jason Quitt. I already feel smarter. Thank you so much for that. When we come back, I've got some questions lined up right here, and I think I want to open up the phone lines, too. 323-825-5045. Jason Quitt, when we come back.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy
soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
You get a Zeepa. You get a Zeepa, you hear me?
What's the name when you snort? It's Zeepa, Zeepa. It's the thing we're craving for. It's Zeepa, Zeepa. You can't sleep all night. Zeepa, Zeepa. And wake up feeling right. It's Zeepa, Zeepa. Makes me love my husband more, 'cause he no longer snores. Zeepa, Zeepa, it's Zeepa, Zeepa.
Zeepa's different than any other device because it actually works. A lot of these other devices, they just bring the jaw forward. That's it. However, the thing that makes Zeepa different, it stabilizes the tongue, basically, with this elastic band. But right here, Jimmy's telling you that this is a unique device. Go to Zeepa now, buy it, and stop the snoring. Get a Zeepa, ZYPPAH.com. Zeepa.com. That's ZYPPAH.com.
Oh, fall. My favorite time of year. Cooler temperatures and, well, let's be honest, layers. Lots and lots of layers. Look, I get it. We all have that favorite hoodie. Matter of fact, I've got a few favorite hoodies. You should wear yours. Enjoy it. I do. But I stay focused on my health year-round. And for me, I take Nature's Youth RSF from nature'syouth.com. Nature's Youth RSF from nature'syouth.com. I eat right, control my portion sizes, still maintain a commitment to regular fitness, and I get plenty of rest, and I take Nature's Youth RSF. It's okay to cover up your beach body for a few months, but don't just forget about it. Nature's Youth understands exactly what it means to provide top-quality health products, and Nature's Youth customers not only improve their health, they know they're also providing their body with the right nourishment to maintain peak performance levels and fight the aging process. So layer up and get started today with Nature's Youth RSF. nature'syouth.com. Simple to use, even simpler to order. Go to nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
All right, welcome back, Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, Jason Quitt. I'm opening up the phone lines, 323-825-5045. 323-825-5045. Jason, when you were talking about going way back, that there was a different sun, and I want to go back and visit that because Allison sent in this question, and she says, what about the possibility that we were inside Jupiter's field before the sun captured it and the sky was purple?
I will just comment with that is that I don't believe the Earth's orbit is where it used to be.
What color was the sky? Do you remember?
I have seen the sky, and it was almost like a orangey, magenta, purple.
Orangey?
It was very...
Really?
Yeah, it was very different, yeah. But
So,
it was very vibrant, yes.
what makes you... sorry, I had to cough. I hit the cough button. Sometimes I just have to. But do you think that may be that... Huh.
It could be another dimension.
Right.
Like I say, I'm just thrown into this, and I don't usually get a story in my head about where I'm going. It's almost like, here you go, Jay, here's a mystery, go figure it out.
Right. Well, did you see, when we talk about dimensions, and for me, I'm definitely on the parallel universe, alternative timeline scenario. I really think that that's where we are. And with certain frequencies, you'll be able to see certain things. Or we see certain things that for a minute blip into our frequency and we're able to see them, right? And so when you describe that to me, it sounds like you could have been just in another frequency.
Absolutely. And I'll just add to that. You ever see the movie The Fog, the Stephen King movie?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's very accurate.
Right.
When I'm in the right state, I'll call it, the room looks like it fills up with fog.
Interesting.
Okay. It's almost like that's the cue that you're stepping through this dimension.
Right. What's the next step? I mean, that's your, I like the way that you put that. That is your cue. So what do you do next? Or can you back off of it?
Oh, yeah. Of course, you just snap out of where you're going. It's very easy to snap out of it.
Right.
It's actually very hard to stay in it.
I get you.
Because your mind gets excited. You know, it's almost like, what is it? The lucid dream. It's like, oh my God, I'm having a lucid dream. And then you're out of it.
Right. Well, for me, I can always go right back into it. That's my little thing. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Say hi to Jason. Who's calling?
Hello, Jimmy Church.
Yes.
Hey, this is my name is Greg. I'm in Idaho, and I used to be a field artillery surveyor back before GPS.
Oh, good. This is the call we've been waiting for. What's your name?
My name's Greg.
Oh, hey, Greg. Sorry about that.
No problem. Anyway, so I went to a school for 6 months in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. This is back in 1992. And we studied, the book is called An Ephemeris. That's the book that it's just numbers. And you go to known celestial beings, the sun and Polaris, North Star, and you turn angles. It's very complicated, and this is the military too. So, and this is 20 years ago. But you just turn angles, and you have to have the exact time. Time is crucial, just like GPS, where they have the clock and all that.
Right.
And you just have to mark it. You go 3, 2, 1, mark, and you do it a couple of times. And then you crunch these numbers in this book called An Ephemeris. And you crunch these numbers, and it'll give you a northing, an easting, and an azimuth, which is, a direction. And with that, you can fire your artillery guns. Boom.
So, right. And so the Earth is round.
It's an oblique spheroid, technically. It's flattened at the poles. It's not perfectly,
Well, yeah, okay, that's a possibility. Sure.
That's technical. That's extremely technical.
Right. Well, if we take the water away, we would probably look like an apple that's been eaten. Right? I don't know. You know what I mean?
There's massive amounts of gravity from the moon. I mean, it's just. I'm sorry, anyone. It's round, and the moon. That's just the way it is. I can't. The Greeks were right.
Greg, I want to thank you for this phone call.
All right, guys. I love your show.
We love you, Greg, and have a great New Year's up there in Idaho, my friend. Thank you so much.
All right, man. I'll be listening.
You got it.
Night.
There you go.
That was fantastic.
That's what I'm talking about. Somebody just tweeted, we've been waiting for a couple of days for a flat earther to call in, and I responded back, they're scared. Because this isn't the show where I'm going to sit. I am open-minded, right? I want to be a sponge. I want to hear everybody's experiences and let's share this stuff. But when it comes to the flat earth, you're not going to, I'm not open-minded, man. That's the part where I'm not going to be the guy out there that people are going to come back and go, hey, man, Church thinks that the earth is flat, man. He's one of the, no, I'm not going to be one of those guys. I'm just not going there. I am not. Great phone call, Greg. Holly wants to know if you would ever try regression to see if you could manipulate or control when and where you travel.
I'd love to, and I've tried. I don't know what it is about me, but I've tried to be hypnotized or taken back, and I don't know why, but it's almost like I'm a wall. I probably need a really good one.
Well,
but I'm open to that for sure.
Yeah. Is it because of who was doing it, do you think? I mean, you got to be comfortable.
Yeah, no, I've had it done by someone I was comfortable with, but it's almost like meditation. I can't stand meditations or guided meditations, but it's like almost I have to do the meditation that I can get into it. But if I hear somebody else doing the meditation, I can't get into it for some reason.
Somebody, John, just tweeted and he says, after you experience these things, do your muscles hurt like you've been at the gym for 3 hours?
When it first started happening, my energetic body was not strong enough. So it's almost like you'd wake up in the morning more tired and in more pain than when you went to sleep the night before.
Interesting. Do you have to recover?
Yes.
And how long does that take? I mean, I can only imagine.
I would say you'd be groggy for about a day or so after an experience. But once I learned how to strengthen my energetic bodies using specific postures, that went away. I'm totally in control of all of it.
You've got a new project with an Algonquin shaman. Tell us about that.
Well, it's actually a close friend of mine, and he's the one who initiated me into Algonquin shamanism when I first started to go through this. So I was very lucky to have a guide to teach me. And, you know, he is just an amazing person. He's the real deal, and he carries a lot of knowledge with him. And, you know, I went to him and I said, you know what, man, I'm done with this UFO conspiracy stuff. It's just too hard on me. You know, it's almost like a losing battle from the start. And I said, I got to get back to my roots, which is consciousness and healing. And I say, you're the guy who started to teach me. Would you help me with a book so we can teach what you taught me to the world? And he said, if you're doing it, then absolutely. So starting January, I'm going to be writing out the chapter proposals and sending it to him, and we're going to start working together. But I think it's extremely important to get this information out because when it comes to the true Native Canadians, specifically this gentleman is an Algonquin, this stuff has been hidden for so long that, you know, they couldn't even tell it to their cousins. It was just like it had to be passed from grandparents or parents down to them, and they weren't allowed to even share it with anybody else. So that's why it's lasted so long. And then there's a prophecy called the Eighth Fire. And this prophecy says that there's a time that's going to come in our future where this knowledge has to be taught to all nations because we need to collectively heal. And, you know, I'm not really quoting it exactly, but that's how I feel about this prophecy. And that's why he's decided, and that's why many shamans have decided to come and open up after 2000 to share their experiences and their knowledge with us. And it's invaluable information for our own growth and awakening.
Are there drugs involved?
No.
How old is he? Well, you said he. I'm assuming it's a he.
Yeah, it's a he. His name is Peter. And he, I don't actually know his true age. I think he's in his 40s.
Pete?
He's a young guy.
Interesting. I can't wait to hear how this starts to pan out. And the reason why is you have a gift, and their traditions go way back. And I think the two of them mesh together, right?
Oh, yeah. And the most amazing thing is, okay, I'm going through these experiences. I can go to channelers and psychics and ask them these questions, but I don't get the answers that I actually need from those sources. And then I go to someone who's a traditional healer and I say, this is what happened. And they're like, oh, yeah, of course. This is what you got to do.
Right.
It's like they're just so on the ball with this information.
The last time that you were on the show, we talked about 2 or 3 of your significant time travel experiences, and you shared those with us in detail. Can you share another one with us?
Another time travel experience. Okay, let's jog my memory here.
Well, we did. We talked about ancient Egypt and Thoth, and also way back to ancient, the time of the dinosaurs. We talked about those 2.
Did I talk about the tidal waves?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Talked about tidal waves. Oh, geez.
I think the tidal waves, I think, was the like prisons with the children.
No. This was I would think this is back in Atlantean times, and what I remember was, and this is like going back into a past life. So there's various. Okay, I'll explain a couple different time travel experiences, and there's those that I get pulled to, and that was right at the beginning, which was the taken to see the Earth burnt, which with the red sky, and then I was taken to the prison camp. Then I was taken to where was I taken to next? And this is why I wrote the book, because, like I say, I just wanted to move on from these memories. They were just not part of my life, and they were very painful, and I did not want to even remember most of these. But when that changed, and I'm still trying to figure out, actually, why I went through this. And I'm trying to figure out if those journeys were a manipulation of me. Like, was I taken on a journey and shown really awful things to implant those thoughts in me?
I'm just looking at Twitter here, just flipping by. There's a couple of things that I want to get to really quick before the break. Yes. Jordan just said, but when was Jason's first experience and what happened?
Okay, so what happened is that basically I'm sleeping at night and I get pulled out of my body. And this is not like, I'm leaving or wanting to leave. It's just I'm having a normal dream, and then suddenly I get pulled out of that dream, and now I'm out of my body in my bedroom, and there's a being standing there, and this being looks invisible. It's almost like an outline. Okay, so I could see it's like some type of humanoid standing there, but I can't see it. And what they do is they take me, and I could feel their touch. Like, they'll take me by the arm and the shoulder, and I'll feel myself getting shot up through the roof into outer space. And I could see the planet below me. So that was a really cool experience for my first time. And then they would direct me to a point on the planet, which was actually in the United States. And I'm not entirely sure where. It was more like central United States. And they shot me down, and I landed in a place or an environment that I did not recognize. And the landscape was burnt, and the sky was very red. And, I could just look around and see this desolate landscape. I can see that there was trees that were burnt. They just looked like stumps and cinders. And then once I saw that, I got pulled down under the ground into a bunker. And the bunker looked like, a man-made backyard bunker. It wasn't very good. There's somebody inside of it. And it looked like they were suffering. That's all I can say. It looked like they were suffering. And then once I saw that, I'm shot back out into outer space. then shot back down into my bedroom, into the body, and I wake up. And that's exactly the progression from the first experiences. So each time that I went through this, that's exactly the process I went through. So I had to go leave the body, go out into outer space, and go back down. And they were horrific, terrible journeys. I really hated doing this. And, I prayed for them to stop, and they did. And then after that, if I were to go on time travel missions, it was not that way anymore. It was almost like the time travel missions were it's almost like I'm consciously aware I'm somewhere else. So it's almost like waking up in a dream and I'm somewhere else. And there will be someone standing behind me or some type of telepathy in my head telling me or describing what I'm seeing. But it didn't happen all the time like that. And then there's other time travel things, which is past lives. So it's like you could wake up. It's almost like you go to sleep and wake up. It's a very strange experience. And you wake up and you're just there in that life, or there experiencing that. And it's real, it's a past life, and all these memories come back to you. So the way I describe the difference between a past life and a dream is that when you go through a past life, it's almost like your mind gets these memories again. And these memories are so vivid that it's impossible to forget them. So I still remember memories from when I was a small child or even a baby. I still remember those memories clear as day. Whereas if you asked me what I ate for lunch yesterday, I couldn't tell you.
Well, what's the difference between that and just like a vivid imagination?
I would say a vivid imagination. I don't think I have a vivid imagination, first of all.
Well, if your parents took you to a doctor, right, and you're telling your parents about this stuff, doctor's going to come out and go, well, he's just got a vivid imagination, right? So how can you tell the difference between, what could be a vivid imagination and this being something that is real?
Because there's a knowledge transfer from it. As in, it teaches me something that I've never known before, or awakens something inside of me that I didn't know I had. So it's almost like this enlightening experience where suddenly you see things the way you've never saw them before, and things make sense on a different level.
Right.
So all of these experiences, they physically change me. They physically change the way I see this world or deal with situations.
Do you have all your faculties about you when this happens? I mean, can you see, smell, taste, hear? Are you able to do all of that?
I think so. Like I remember, like in the first experience, because it was so real when I'm in this landscape, I remember feeling like the wind on my face.
Right.
Like I can hear the wind and I can feel it on my body. Even though I know I can't interact with the situation, it's almost like I'm a ghost in this environment. So nobody can see me, but it's almost like even though I'm there as this ghost, I can still experience this feeling.
Can you recommend how you use the third eye with OBEs? Is there a way to practice this? Is there any training that is involved?
I never really knew much about the third eye, and I guess it's just because it was natural to me. Basically, if I get into a relaxed state, or if the lighting is just right, it's almost like I see this overlay of energy, and it really looks like the aurora borealis. So I see these like colorful energy. They look like waves. These energy waves, they just come in, and I can see that very clearly with my eyes closed. It looks exactly like the aurora borealis. And then if I slowly open my eyes, I can see it with my eyes opened. So there's like an overlay. So when my eyes are closed, the third eye activates. It starts producing those chemicals which tune in to those dimensional or frequencies we cannot see with our physical eyes. And then as I slowly open my eyes, I get the overlay of the third eye over the third dimension.
Do you think this can be taught?
I don't know. Like, I teach meditations, I teach Qigong, like the Egyptian postures movements, and people have experiences. They have awakenings. And that's the way I was taught to heal myself. So that's just what I teach others. But I really think that this is just something that I was born with. I think it could be activated in people. But for me, it's just, I would just say it's just like breathing. It's just, if you get into that right state, it's just there.
I always get this question with a guest like yourself. It comes up every single time. I get two of the same, and so I'll get them both out before the break. First, do you ever smell sulfur?
No.
Do you ever see the color blue lights, blue in a room?
No, never.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. And what have you smelled? And I wanted to go back. What have you smelled? Yeah. And when you met the old gray or the little gray, he says he was old.
Yeah.
Did he smell?
No, I did. You know what? I don't think I have smell. I don't remember the smelling part of it. And the truth is, when these things happen, my mind is not even there in the full experience. It's, what the hell is this thing doing here? Right.
Very interesting. And when we come back, what do you think about Tiamat and Maldek?
Oh, okay. When we come back, what do I think about it?
Well, we can do that too as well. It sounds like it's going to be a long answer. So if that is the case, let's go ahead and take a break right now. Our guest tonight is Jason Quitt. Good timing on that, Jason. Perfect. Well done, my friend. Radio hosting is in your future. This is Fade to Black.
You.
I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Our guest tonight, Jason Quitt. We'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. This is Rob Halford, the Metal Guard on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
KGRA Radio. Intelligent talk.
You've probably heard about all the great benefits of goat milk soap, but did you know some companies take shortcuts? At Old New England Soap, we make our organic goat's milk soap using 36% goat's milk. That's 17% more than most others. Our bars are larger, so they last longer, producing lots of lather packed with vitamins. And our soap is a natural moisturizer that smooths dry and damaged skin. Order online at oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. You've tried the rest. Now try the best. oldnesoap.com.
Water-based soaps on supermarket shelves use harsh chemical acids to break down dead skin cells. And that's just not good for you. At Old New England Soap, our soaps are made without chemical ingredients, contain no alcohol or petroleum products, and use 85% organic materials and carry the USDA's organic certification. Try some today. Go to oldnesoap.com. That's oldnesoap.com. oldnesoap.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on the smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If you have sciatica, then you know all about the crippling pain that travels from your lower back down your leg when a spasm occurs. It's brutal. In fact, it's enough to take your breath away. Dr. Zhang's Sciatica Nerve Cream helps relieve persistent, shooting pains associated with the sciatic nerve in the lower back and legs. This natural, homeopathic cream contains the most potent ingredients to soothe even the most excruciating pain associated with sciatica. Stop the pain now. Ask for Dr. Zhang's Sciatica Nerve Cream at your local health food store or go online to trasknutrition.com.
Would you like relief from muscle pain, headaches, and discomfort to sleep better, have more energy during the day, and just feel naturally amazing? Fibromalic can help. Its blend of malic acid and magnesium can provide pain relief and comfort for those who experience fibromyalgia. It helps your body absorb more oxygen, and it works quickly for a significant reduction in pain within 48 hours, all without a prescription. Ask for Fibromalic at health and vitamin shops or shop fibromalic.com.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. Open lines, 323-825-5045 with Jason Quitt. 323-825-5045. Jason, right before the break, Tiamat and Maldek, and I liked the pause that you gave me with that. So where do you stand?
Well, I would say that I was told a story in my outer body experiences, and basically this story was about a very ancient war that went on here. And it was with some beings that, a lot of people would refer to as reptilian. And this war destroyed many civilizations and planets. They had things that were, I would say, equivalent to what we would call in Star Wars Death Stars that can destroy planets.
Right.
And I think that quite a long time ago, something came into our solar system. And there was something on or in our solar system, and it was basically taken out. As for the stories, the mythologies definitely have some truth into them, but I don't know if you're familiar with the work of Len Kasten. He did the Project Serpo.
Yes,
I'm a good friend of Len's, and he's writing a new book. And, I just read it.
Yeah, he just sent it to me, too, as well.
Okay.
Just got it.
Okay, good. You will want to read the first 170 pages. It tells quite a story that relates to your question. And I've never heard it told the way he wrote it. So I'm not going to give anything away. I think Len would be a good guest to answer this question. But from what I was told personally, it reflects a lot of these things that he wrote about, which is very, very strange because when you start reading his book, it's quite a different story than we know.
Well, the asteroid belt is not an accident, right? Okay,
no.
and I firmly believe that is the remnants of a lot of stuff out there. Is it Maldek? Don't know. Is it Tiamat? I don't know. Is it the way that Sitchin played it out? I don't know. I do know this, that when we talk about planet Earth and we talk to scientists and physicists and astronomers, nobody really knows how the Earth was formed, right? We just don't know. We don't know how the moon got here. We don't know if orbits have changed. We don't know if something struck us, if the moon is part of Earth. We don't know. We don't know. We simply do not know. And when we look at the ancient writings and the Sumerian text and the references to this and the way that Sitchin played it out, it's as feasible as anything, right? And that's just the way that I look at it, because really, honestly, none of us were there.
See, I was told 2 stories, and the strangest thing is it's the same story, but it's almost like the casting characters get replaced by. So the first story is that that planet was a colony from, let's say, refugees from another system that was destroyed, and they wanted to stamp them out, so they destroyed that planet to get rid of that colony. And then I heard another story where it was a base used by, let's say, the reptilians, and the Alliance came in and destroyed the planet. So it's like you have the same story, but they just switch the characters. So I can't verify which is the right one because I don't know. The only thing I know is from what was told to me on the other side was that there was an ancient war here, and that destroyed the planet. So I don't know which side to truly believe.
Is there life in our solar system right now?
I think there is. And what I think is, it's not just physical. It's not just physical. As in, if you go to, let's say, Saturn, and it's another dimension, so you leave your body and you're now in another dimension. You're not physical anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And you go to Saturn, it's a different place because it's a different dimension. So the different planetary spheres could be inhabited by beings, but we can't experience that because we're going at it from the third dimension.
Right. Okay, well, what about, and I hear you, but what about in this dimension?
Oh yeah. And I think you posted a picture the other day of something very strange in the skies.
Right.
I think absolutely that there are many, I would say, bases that are inhabited by other beings and humans. That's very important to know. I would say in Mars, the moon, and I would say that there's stations in asteroids. They would hollow them out and make stations in them.
Makes sense to me. Phobos, right? Europa.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's go to the phones really quick. Hey, Eric, how you doing?
I'm doing great, and Jason is my favorite guest. I stated that before. I'm just thrilled that he's on tonight.
Oh, I got the license plate today, by the way.
Right on. Well, Merry Christmas to everybody. Jason, I just wanted to ask you a question, and then, obviously I don't know even a third of what you know, but you mentioned reptilians, and from what I've studied, are you familiar with Credo Mutwa, first of all?
No, what's that?
No, Credo Mutwa is a historian from Africa.
Shaman?
Yeah, from Africa.
The reason why I bring... I'll go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I don't know anything.
He mentions that from his ancient studies and his beliefs passed down through the African culture that there was more than one type of reptilian race, and a lot of times people talk about the reptilians. Do you have any feel about there being, just like there's different types of humans, do you think there's possibly different types of reptilians, and maybe they're not all bad?
They're not all bad, and that I want people to know that very clearly. They're not all bad. I've come in contact with reptilians from, I would say there's a planet in Sagittarius. And, okay, I'll have to back up to explain how this all works.
Please do. I'm Sagittarius, by the way.
Pardon me?
I'm Sagittarius, by the way, so.
Oh, so there you go. So, okay, so there is these things called the in-betweens, and it's the only word I could describe it. And the in-betweens are dimensions that can be created. So there's dimensions, but there's dimensions between the dimensions. And it's almost like a holodeck or a hologram where, let's say, if there's a meeting that needs to take place. So let's say there's reptilians from Sagittarius that want to meet with me on Earth. They're not going to fly a ship over here. So what they do is they create this thing in the in-between. And it's almost like a holodeck. So let's say there's a room there, and you enter the room, and then they're there to speak to you. And when it's done, you come back, you know it was a real experience, and you wake up. But it feels completely real in this in-between dimensional space. And basically what these reptilians told me is that they basically confirmed that there's many, many, many different types of reptilians. Not even they're from here and they're from other universes and other dimensions. It's a very advanced and ancient race, and there's many offshoots of them. And they said what's going on here is that there's a lot of reptilians that are unenlightened, and they're very much into divide and conquer type of things and war. And they just came to tell me that there's more than just one. So yes, there's lots of difference.
Did they name themselves? For instance, the Draco that Corey Good talks about. Your experiences happened before Corey Good came forward, or before you knew anything about Corey. And so,
it was before Corey.
Right. And so did yours and Corey's experiences line up? Did they mesh together?
See, he says that he's taken physically, so he's going to these places physically.
Right.
And I can't confirm that because I was never, ever taken physically. My body is asleep in bed. Like if I'm on these experiences, you could have a camera in my room and I'm in bed sleeping. But when you go to these places, like I explained, the in-between dimensions,
right?
When you go to these places, it's like you're on a holodeck. It's absolutely real. Absolutely. Like you have a physical body, you can see yourself, you can see them in the room, they look physical. If I reached out and touched them, I could reach out and touch them, but I didn't, obviously.
Right. Well, what about and what about the information side that you were given, and what you know of Corey's information that he's been sharing to everybody and on the show as well? Was the information the same?
Not entirely, but he's very well. He mirrors a lot of the things, but the thing that scared me to death was he talked about this ancient race. He called them the Builders.
Right.
And I was so into that stuff on the other side. And I know their real name. I'm not allowed to say it, but we call them the Builders. They're no longer here, by the way. They're gone. They've been gone for a very, very long time. But they built infrastructure in this physical 3D world, and they built infrastructure in the dimensional worlds. And we still use those infrastructures and technologies. So when he started to talk about them, I was just so blown away that somebody else knows about this stuff. That really scared me and Bob, that we had to put out the book fast because we didn't know what else he was going to say that might mirror some of the things in the book.
Right. When you are in this in between, it's hard for me to put this into words. Can anyone access the in between in this dimension? Is it just you, and why you?
I think I'm being pulled into there. It's not like I'm creating this. It's almost like I'm being invited into this.
Because
it's like,
because you are meeting at a place, right? And they know,
yes,
right? And so, are they familiar? Is this like familiar territory for them? Is this like their office, right? You are going to them, to their office.
That's right. And you know what? This goes back to a very ancient thing here. And we view the physical world very physical. We don't know what's outside of us. We don't know these dimensional worlds.
Right.
But if you go back into time, let's say like back to the time of Lemuria, it was a different human. Okay, so it was a different way of being, and they weren't hooked up to the physical body like we are. As in, they enter the body, they have the physical experience, but they can leave the body anytime consciously. So it's almost like they're a ghost going in and out of this earth vehicle type of thing.
Right.
So for these ancient souls or these ancient beings, for them, this is just normal life. It's like they could have the physical experience, reality. They can go to sleep or meditate or just simply project themselves into other worlds of dimensions because they're not like bound and held in this physical reality like we are in this world today.
Why can't you say their name? That's interesting because Corey said the exact same thing.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
What I was told is that a name is an energetic signature. And when you start to say that energetic signature, it pulls them into this reality, which they are not allowed to do at this time.
Yeah, interesting.
Can I ask one more quick question, Jimmy, or should I just hang up?
Sure. No, go ahead, Eric. I forgot you were there. You were being
try to make it as politically correct as possible. Let's go to the plane of the 3D plane we're on now with all the stuff that's in the news about the types of behaviors that are going on with adults abusing children. Do you think that there is a race or a being that is controlling or manipulating these people?
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
No.
Okay. There you go.
It's the reason being is that they want you to talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
so it might be the same group that you're not supposed to mention, just that you said you shouldn't mention a minute or two ago.
No, totally different group.
Okay.
Totally different group. No, the reason is that this is some really dark stuff that we're dealing with. And it's some really dark stuff that's just kind of plopped in our laps and say, here, look at this disgusting mess that we've been doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
I agree.
When you see it, it's actually traumatizing you. It's really at a cellular level traumatizing you.
Of course it is. It is. You can feel the change. Yes.
Yes. And by traumatizing you, the things that you're complaining about are actually now have access to you.
That's exactly right. Eric, listen to what he just said.
Oh, I'm listening. Believe me, that's why I called.
That's why you need to drop that ball and walk away.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I have dropped it.
I'll talk to you, Eric. Thank you, brother.
All right, bud. Thanks for your time. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Be safe out there. A couple of quick questions, and I got the feeling we're going to go into overtime tonight, so I hope you're not doing anything in the morning. Can you talk about auralite crystals and can they help us travel? That's from Holly.
Okay. I have a really strange connection to crystals. It's just all my life I've been so into crystals. And they've kind of just come into my life. So this auralite crystal, it just kind of fell into my lap. And I'm actually very good friends with the owner of the mine, which is up in Thunder Bay, Ontario. And this crystal is so unique and so rare. It's about 2 billion years old. And it's Canadian amethyst that started to form when a 20-mile metallic asteroid hit the planet. And this impact hit Sudbury, Ontario. It was so devastating that it literally cracked the mantle of the earth. It was so bad, this hit. And those metals, from that meteorite got embedded into these crystals. So when you take this crystal and you feel it, it weighs like double the weight of a normal crystal because there's so much metal inside of this crystal. And when they analyze it, they find over 23 different rare metals that come from outer space.
Oh, so
It's
cool.
almost like, it's like almost like a meteorite crystal. And it's a very, very small mine. I mean, this guy, it's only one guy, and he pulls these things out by hand, right? So there's not much of it out on the market. And so it's like I was actually at his house yesterday, and he just has, what he pulled out this summer on his floor. And I said, okay, I'll just collect the ones that are communicating to me. And when I say communicating, when I first experienced this crystal, it was the weirdest thing. It's like I took this crystal, I held it, and I kind of fell asleep. So it was at night, it was in bed, held the crystal, and I started to fall asleep. And as I'm going into the different levels of sleep, I got kicked out of it, and suddenly I see this thing in front of me. It looks like a rope, and this rope was covered in thick clay. And I'm looking at this rope. It's like a rope in space. It's the only way I could describe it. And suddenly this rope twisted, and this clay just burst out in all directions, revealing this rope of light underneath it. And when this thing broke and the clay exploded, it was like my whole body, I felt that. It's just like my whole body, every cell exploded at the same time. And I was just like, what is this? What's happening in my mind? And I just heard a voice saying, be still, we're activating dormant DNA. And
wow.
I knew it was that crystal that tuned me to whatever that experience was. And my whole life, I've been very connected to crystals, so connected that if I were to hand you a crystal, and by the way, I saw the crystal you got, that quartz crystal.
Yeah, the Lemurian.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. It's beautiful crystal.
It's big too. I've got it right in front. I'll pick it up right now. This thing, I don't know. It's a few pounds. I can tell you that. It's massive, and it's got stuff going on too, man. You should see the inside of this thing. It's got a lot of action.
Oh no, I felt it when I saw that picture, so that's why I'm bringing it up.
Man.
It's a powerful crystal.
Yeah, it is.
But that's the thing is, I'm so sensitive to crystals that if you were to hand me your crystal, I can feel what's going on in your body. So the crystal will communicate to me what's happening with you.
Interesting.
And it's like I used to wear this shungite necklace. It was a beautiful piece of shungite, and people would always come up to me and grab the stone and go, wow, that's a beautiful stone. And right when they would touch that stone, I would feel everything that's wrong in their body, and I'd feel pain throughout my whole body. So that's how stones communicate. So they could take us to other dimensions, take us through travel, or they could communicate like stone medicine, where if I'm working on someone shamanically, I could put a stone in someone's hand, and then when they hand it back to me, I could feel where the pain in their body is.
Can you recommend, like Holly wanted to know about auralite.
Yes.
Can you recommend a specific crystal, and what about auralite?
Oh, okay. What I say is auralite is like the multivitamin of crystals. It's over 23 crystals and metals in one crystal. And it's called auralite because it comes from a place so far up north that you see the aurora borealis at night.
Oh, I
so
get you.
It's a very beautiful, beautiful place. And they have very magnetic properties. And I just have to say that just for me working with it for this long, it just takes you to levels that other crystals don't, because it's a combination of the earth, this comes 2 billion years old. So think of how much history is in this stone. But then it also comes from the stars. with all the metals that came in from these meteorites.
Right.
So it's connecting the earth and the sky. And when you hold it, it's almost like these dimensions open up to you. So it's a very, very powerful shamanic healing stone.
I have an auralite pyramid. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's, auralite also, to me, when you look at it, it's got everything, and the colors, and when you hold it up to the light and you see, I like action in my crystal, right?
Yeah.
I like to see things. And Rita has got a really, really awesome crystal collection, too, as well. We're going to head into a break here, but I wanted to ask you really quick, did your family, your mom or dad, have any of these abilities, and have you talked to them about it?
My father is completely closed on this whole subject. He just thinks, I'm kind of crazy or making it up. My mother is very open because there's a couple psychics in my family, and my mother's had a lot of alien and ghost experiences, which are kind of funny because she's scared to death of it. So she has a lot of fear around it. So I would say that I probably got a lot of this from my mother because she's very gifted, but she's very shut down.
It's funny how you say that so directly about your dad. What's it like when you talk to him about this? I mean, when you say shut down, is he negative or he just doesn't want to talk about it?
Okay. How much swearing could I say on your show?
No, yeah, we can't do
no,
that.
Okay. No, I'll just say.
I get you.
No, I'll just say that I didn't tell him about the book, and he actually found it and read it. And when he came up to me, he basically said, as long as you believe this is bull and you can make money from it, I'm very happy for you.
Wow, he came at you like that.
Definitely. Yeah.
Ooh, man. I need to get him on this show. That's what.
Oh, he would love that.
Well,
yeah.
Somebody like that needs to go out with us one night and with some night vision goggles and just get the experience of a lifetime, because then everything changes, right? And that's the only thing that I could suggest is, man, he's never had an experience,
Do you know that if I start to speak to him about something outside his comfort zone, his body will actually fall asleep. It shuts down.
Yeah, he needs to come hang out with us in the desert.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm serious, man. I'm serious. I might pay for that plane ticket. I'm going to get you to hang on for a few minutes. I've got some more questions I want to hit you with, Jason. And our guest tonight is Jason Quitt. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. You can follow Jason at Jason_Quitt. This is Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and KGRA, The Planet. More with Jason right after this short break. Stay with us.
You are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had gout in both my knees, and it's gone.
Well, I'm pretty stupid. I should have ordered it 15 years ago. Best thing I ever got in my. It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life.
He had eczema on his hand, and it cracked for years. He did anything from doctor, every cream, everything. And 3 months on the veggies and fruit, it was gone.
They're just awesome. They keep asking me, what am I doing? I told them what I did with my cholesterol. I had the blood test, right? And it went down 100 points. 262, now it's 162. Everything is just perfect.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature.
Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Call now, 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code TSL.
Would odors, mold, and mildew describe your basement or crawl space? It doesn't have to be that way. Transform them into a fresh, healthy, usable one with the technologically advanced Wave Moisture Control Units. The computerized operation maximizes moisture control and also expels harmful radon, combustion gases, and numerous other pollutants. Dehumidifiers are old technology that do nothing for air quality and waste energy. Wave units are intelligent, self-monitoring, do not need maintenance, and will save you hundreds in electricity. Wave units are still running effectively over 15 years. They've been tested and installed in public and military housing and by property managers nationwide. Buy a unit now, and if your home is not fresher and drier, you can return it for a full refund for up to 12 months. What have you got to lose? Call now. 1-888-618-WAVE. 1-888-618-WAVE. Or visit mydryhome.com. That's mydryhome.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
What's up, Fadernauts? Studio Dome loves Fade to Black and the F2B audience so much that they have put together the ultimate stereo Bluetooth system. They've done it just for you. Man, check this out. The Studio Dome SBB2 stereo system is here. It's featuring two Studio Boombox 2 SBB2 wireless Bluetooth speakers, packed in its own custom hardshell case. This Studio Dome system features the very latest in stereo Bluetooth technology. The two full-range boomboxes are in true wireless stereo. You've got to hear this. It's amazing. It's just $129, and use the promo code JCRTWS, and you'll also get free shipping. It's simple. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com, click on the Studio Dome banner. Go Beckley Tepe.
This is Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back to Fade to Black. Our guest tonight, Jason Quitt. Amazing conversation. Doing a little overtime right now with Jason. And Jason, with all of this alien and reptilian intervention that we're getting here on planet Earth, what is the message?
That is a very tough one that I'm still racking my brain about. I can see it from a higher dimensional point that through the experience of the physicality of this nature, we are learning and expanding and going through a lot of karma that needs to be processed. But I don't know, there's a lot of weird things going on in my mind that maybe the human being, they do not fully understand it, and we're basically an enemy. So it's almost like they're studying us and learning how we operate, because we don't operate the way they operate, and they don't understand that. So it could be, know your enemy, or manipulate the enemy to know how to control them, and then try to do it somewhere else. So there's some very strange things that I'm debating in my mind about this, but I absolutely know for sure that it's not just reptilian. There are many, many beings that are influencing the way we think, and they're not physical, they're dimensional. And I'll tell you a quick story. Another thing that happened to me in Japan, because I don't know why all these things are happening to me over there, but basically, I went out to eat, and I ordered a big soup, and it was a very salty soup. So I started to feel very sick after, and, the room starts spinning, and I have a headache, and I said, okay, I got to lie down, go to sleep it off. And right when I fell asleep, I started having this dream, which was, it was a very violent dream. It was almost like a very gory, violent dream. And I'm thinking in the dream, what the heck is going on here? Like, why am I dreaming this? It just didn't make any sense to me. But because I have this ability of leaving my body, I stuck my head out of my head. So I separated my body, and I looked to see what was in the room with me. And there was this little thing. It was like a foot and a half. It had wings. It looked like the classic little devil things, exactly classic little devil things. And it was holding the back of my head with its claws in the back of my head. And there was one on my back. And, my first reaction is, I'm going to kill these things, for doing this to me. It's always anger, your first reaction in these states. So what I do is I grab it with my astral or my dimensional hand. So it's very physical. It's like I'm holding this thing and I'm grabbing it by the neck, and it starts scratching me with its little fingernail thingies. And that's not pleasant. It hurts. And then I calm myself down. I'm like, wait a second, I know how to handle this. And I go into this mantra, this sacred mantra that I know, which is for protection and to organize my energy fields. And I go into that mantra, and right when I do this, this wave swept over me, and they were gone instantly. And I woke up, and all my symptoms, that sickness, that really gross sickness that I felt, it was completely gone, like it was never there.
Wow.
So I'm thinking like, okay, this is not the food. It's I picked up these things from either a person or the restaurant I was at. I took them home with me. It made me sick. And when it tried to manipulate me by placing that dream in my head, these things don't like to be caught, like I said. So I got rid of them. But, it really makes you think, what if this thing attaches to you, puts these thoughts, you start to go into those emotions, and now you become a food source to these things.
Sure.
So there's lots of manipulation on many levels that we have to be aware of.
Like little baby gargoyles, right?
You know what? Their skin was like, it was almost like a clay red.
Wow.
It had wings, tiny little long fingers like the gremlins. But the face, that was the weird thing, because I can't tell you what this face looks like. It almost looked like a combination of a couple animals that are just spliced together. It did not look like anything I've seen before.
Rita wants to know, she's got this little, it's a white quartz crystal that kind of shaped like an obelisk. It's maybe 3-4 inches long, and maybe a half inch on the big side, and then narrows on the other end. But this crystal has got crazy stuff in it, and I will show it to you. Rita will show it to you. There is at the bottom. I'm not making this up at all. Plenty of people have seen this. Giza, right? The pyramid is there. It's 3-dimensional. You can see the bricks. You can see the blocks in the pyramid, right? It's crazy. But this crystal has gone from being perfectly clear to now on the inside of the crystal, it's almost red, like it's changing colors on the inside. What is going on with that?
Is it out in the sunlight, like on a window?
No, it sits in her studio.
Okay. So basically this crystal is taking the energy away from you. It's protecting you. And I'm pretty sure because of the show and the content that you're playing with, you probably get a lot of energy sent to you, and these crystals will basically take the hit for you. So it's actually storing energy instead of you storing the energy.
Wow.
Because that could cause sickness in you. Now, like I say, crystals are like my saviors a little, because I'll be sitting at a dinner table, for example, and I'll be wearing a crystal around my neck. Okay, it's just a crystal around my neck. I'll be sitting at a dinner table, not even touching it. This crystal will explode in 100 pieces. It would just explode.
Wow.
And it's happened to me many times.
Wow.
And I know that crystal gave its life for me.
Right. Wow.
And other things with crystals, like I was holding this crystal. It was like a black crystal. I'm trying to remember what it was. But I'm holding it. I'm just rubbing it with my thumb, and this crystal turned to sand in my hands.
Wow.
And I knew that it took something from me.
Right.
It's the same thing with when you go to sweat lodges. Have you ever been to a sweat lodge?
No, I have not.
Okay. They take these big stones, they call them grandfathers and grandmothers, and they heat them up like they're red hot. And they take them into the sweat lodge, and if there is something inside of you that's very toxic, the stone will take it.
Suck it out of you.
The stone will literally just turn to ash in front of your eyes. It'll just turn to a puff of smoke.
Wow. Okay, one last question. Wow, that just blows my mind. I would love to witness something like that. Do you know what the Great Pyramid was and what it was used for? You know, other than the burial chamber that it wasn't, right? What was it? What was its purpose?
The pyramid was used to terraform our planet.
So
it was to lock the tectonic plates and the North Pole, and to help create the right atmosphere for us to live here.
Wow, that's interesting. There you go. Wow. Okay, I'm going to ponder that one all evening. And Jason, once again, thank you so much. Where can everybody get your books?
You can get my book on Amazon just by typing in my name, Jason Quitt, and my books will come up. You could also go to my website, which is thecrystalsun.com. That's thecrystalsun, sun.com. And you can find the crystals on there and other books and products. And you could also find me on Facebook under Jason Quitt, and on Twitter, Jason_Quitt, Quitt.
Thank you so much, my friend. Great way to wrap up the end of the year. Fantastic show. Thank you so much. And the best of you and your family, best to you and your family. Have a great, safe New Year's. All right? Go out there and have some fun, and we'll see you in 2017. Thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you.
Jason Quitt. All of his links are over at jimmychurchradio.com. Thank you so much, Jason. Fantastic conversation. Went way above and beyond. His links are over at Jimmy Church Radio. I'll be right back after this short break. Stay with us.
You're listening to Jimmy Church Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio.
When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black Blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy.
Hi, folks. It's a holiday season with hope in the air. Things to look forward to and no time for despair. Health can be a challenge, and so can the mail. So Get the Tea wants to help you by giving you a sale. Buy 2 months of Super Tea and get 1 month for free. No limit. That's buy 2 months of Super Tea and get 1 month free. That's a savings of $35. Where? GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Scroll down on the front page and find the Buy 2, Get 1 free ad. Click it and save. Orders over $100 get free shipping. Send the gift of life. Change tea at GetTheTea.com. We have many non-GMO organic supplements just waiting for you. This holiday season, enjoy health and Thanksgiving with GetTheTea.com. Want to call us? 928-308-0408. That's 928-308-0408. GetTheTea.com is a proud sponsor of Doing What's Right. That's GetTheTea.com.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, The Planet.
Hi, this is Chase Kletsky with Fate Magazine Radio, and you're listening to Jimmy Church and Fade to Black on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA digital broadcast station, where the Fade or Nots rock.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back, Fade to Black. Check out Rita's pictures of her crystals. Now, just go to follow us on Twitter, of course, at JChurchRadio and hashtag F2B. You'll see it pop up right there. I just retweeted it. That is a coffee cup sitting next to it. Look at the size of that thing, man. It's like a foot tall. Thing is beautiful. And that is, I forget what type of quartz that one is. Is that Lemurian too as well? Is it from Venezuela? Colombia? It's beautiful, though. It's big. All right. Thank you, Jason Quitt. And again, his the Crystal Sun and his links are over at jimmychurchradio.com. Just go and click and check it out. But I've got a bunch of stuff here that I've got to get out before tomorrow's show. And so first off, check this out. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ordered his nation's foreign ministry to temporarily limit all working ties with the embassies of the 12 UN Security Council members who voted in favor of Friday's resolution on the West Bank settlements and who have diplomatic relations with Israel. Business with these embassies of those countries, Britain, France, Russia, China, Japan, Ukraine, Angola, Egypt, Uruguay, Spain, Senegal, and New Zealand will be suspended. Netanyahu will not meet with the foreign ministers of those countries, and their ambassadors will not be received at Israel's foreign ministry. Wow. All because, right? Man, that's like, picking up your toys and going home. Man. Just because we wouldn't veto. There you go. I heard his comments. Friends don't take friends to the Security Council. Well, you know what? Yeah, they do. All right. After years of attempting to catch up with American and European space agencies, China could be the first, allegedly, to land a probe, allegedly, on the far side of the moon. They want to get this done by 2018. A white paper released by China's cabinet yesterday revealed the country's space strategy for the next 5 years, indicating that the country's rumored desire to land a probe on the moon was indeed real and could be accomplished in record time. Tuesday's white paper announced that the proposed Chang'e 4 mission would conduct geological research and low-frequency radio astronomy to better understand the moon's evolution. The white paper also addressed China's desire to send a probe to Mars by 2020 in order to, and I'm quoting from the white paper, to conduct research into major scientific questions such as the origin and evolution of the solar system and to search for extraterrestrial life. The Chinese. There you go. Didn't they want to do a manned mission, right, to the moon? Whatever happened to that idea? Right? So we posted over on Facebook a really cool picture of Neil Armstrong with a Chinese flag. Cheetahs, you know, the cat, the great cat. Cheetahs are sprinting to extinction due to habitat loss and other forms of human impact, according to a new study out this week, which called for urgent action to save the world's fastest land animals. Cheetah numbers in Zimbabwe have plunged by more than 85% in the last 16 years. 85%. The study, published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, estimated that just 7,100 cheetahs remain in the wild today, occupying just 9% of the territory that they once lived in. Now, what is interesting here? That there was an estimated 100,000 cheetahs at the beginning of the 20th century. Today, they occupy, the reason why it's dwindling, obviously it's us. That's the first thing. But the second thing is, cheetahs, because they're so fast, part of the reason, they hunt outside of their territory. That's what they naturally do. They go outside of their zone. That's where they go and hunt. And this is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. Think about what is going on in their mind. It's very sad. Very sad. Hey, Mark, thank you for posting this on Twitter. There's the picture of Neil Armstrong with the Chinese flag. I love it. I love it. And, thank you for posting. This picture of this cheetah that I posted was one of the largest that I could find online. What I mean is megapixel-wise, megabyte-wise. This thing is huge. But look at that. The cheetah. Is that the most beautiful creature like ever? Right? Look at that. 77 miles an hour. We can't let this go. Something needs to be turned around. Well, this Nigerian billionaire, how many times have you gotten email from Nigeria giving away money? Right? Nigerian billionaire. Somebody's died. Somebody's left a will with your name on it, and they're looking for you, and it's some lawyer that is controlling the estate, right, from Nigeria, and they need you to click on a link and respond, right? How many times have you gotten rich this year from those emails, right? Well, this Nigerian billionaire is legit. His name is Femi Otedola. But what these doofus sisters from Canada are saying about him is not legit. The sisters from Toronto, who have a sizable Instagram following, by the way, well, sort of. It depends on how what you consider sizable. But they were detained in Lagos, Nigeria, after trying to extort and cyberbully Femi, the billionaire, the real billionaire. Their names, Jyoti and Kiran Matharu. Now, totally real. This is not the fake Nigerian email. This is real. And they went after the wrong guy. They claimed that they had evidence of Femi cheating on his wife and that they would post it on a sex scandal website, trying to extort some money. Otedola, who earned his riches in the energy sector, is worth about $1.8 billion. And that is legit, according to Forbes magazine. Now, the sisters who are doing this via Twitter and Instagram and trying to extort this money, they get arrested in Nigeria, of all places. A court document also stated that the sisters were accused of using several Instagram and Twitter accounts to harass around 274 different people, mostly based in various regions of Africa. Now, they've been given attorneys, right? That's been provided to the two women. The sisters have combined nearly 50,000 Instagram followers. And you can go look them up right now on Instagram. I did. Doofuses. I hope their Twitter and Instagram followers are sending them money and food. Because I can assure you, a Nigerian jail ain't nothing nice. And I am sure that Femi has enough money and influence to make sure that their holiday stay is extra special. Well, the last of the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 devices that are still online and running are about to meet their end. T-Mobile became the first major carrier in the United States to roll out an update that will shut down the handsets that have been, exploding. The update, which bears the version number N930TUVU2APL2, will implement a feature that will prevent the device from being charged, essentially locking it up and making sure the device is permanently shut down. The plan to intentionally brick the last of the living Galaxy Note 7s was announced earlier this month following a text message that was sent out by U.S. Cellular subscribers, noting a software update that would be pushed to the devices to prevent them from working. Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint will push the phone-killing update after January 5th. And this has been Fade to Black. I want to thank Jason Quitt for an amazing show tonight. Can't wait to get Jason back on again in 2017. He's got to go to Antarctica and give us an update. Fade to Black's executive producer is Rita Kamurian. Show is produced by Hilton J. Paul, Mark D. Kovar, LJ3, Renee Jonas. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vitova, Mark D. Kovar. Beatty by Dale. Webmaster is Drew the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy. SpaceboyMusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network. Syndication is KGRA, The Planet. Tomorrow night, right here, Lori McDonald and the Mandela Effect. This broadcast is owned and copyrighted 2016 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Until tomorrow night, Lori McDonald, everybody be safe. Go Beckley Teppy.